What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to making Farm Sim realistic as possible. Or can you add stuff? You know, Gun of Thunder's Patreon now. I've added a few things from that page. Highly recommend going and support him. Doing amazing work. But yeah, I was doing so well with this whole bale stacking and loading, and came in a little hot and took out a stack. But I think I have an idea how I'm going to load all these. It won't be pretty, but yeah, we should be able to hopefully get these functional. Should be able to get most of these on. But with that said, we need to run up to the farm and we need to get some cultivation, tillage, harrowing done because we need to get the grass planted so we can start converting some hay next spring. So I'll head up here. Got all markers on because I was unsure of a few things, and we'll take those off after. But right now we need to get this going. So gotta use LANDOLL. I think it's 43% off. So as you see, it's got some wear and tear on it, but it fits what we need. So first and foremost, didn't realize I detached it. So hopefully you're gonna have some more calves on the way. It'd be nice to see that happen. And I just realized why that truck is not gonna go. He's going around the long way. Which, okay. But there's a little trick, so BC Bueller, I do apologize. I sent you a thing saying, hey, this isn't working, I can't drive over. And then I realized this just has to be on. Literally just has to be on. And it drives over, no problem. So something causes it to detect that it won't work. So the guy should turn that way knowing the course is blocked here. But with that said, let's get this down. And honestly, I might just run up and down right here. Get the gear going. There we go. I just run right across it like this. Up, down. Probably could have set up a GPS. Not too worried about it. But we need to get this definitely set up. The other thing we need to do is do some testing. Lime and precision farming. Did not make a good turn there. So we did take realistic weather off, by the way. I know this is going to episode 4. Unfortunately, it just creates too many conflicts with every mod. It seems really looking through it and then seeing what some other people have said and backed it up with, you know, the lines of code. It just pulls too much from the front of the game, which in turn ends up being an issue. Yeah, this won't take us too long. Like I said, we'll just kind of go up and down here. With these rows, and then we'll just finish up with the headlands. This might be a little thinner down this way, just because we don't want to be in the woods. like I said, probably should have turned on GPS here, but it is what it is. Goal is to just get this done, and then wanted to see how far off I'd be on a 10-meter implement. Clearly pretty far off, though. And we probably could have got away with just doing the headlands initially, but watch out, deer. This will become grass, and I have to kind of think about the plan going forward on how we want to shuffle beans and corn. You know, 47,000 liters of beans. I kind of have to look at the price and see what they actually were. Hopefully it all works out. But I can't promise we'll get good money on things, but we've definitely got a bundle of payments every month. So when we get out of October, it'll be interesting to kind of see where we fall. No, I think we're just gonna work the outside. Kind of go against the way we harvested. But I hope everyone is enjoying the series so far. I think this is something where it's, you know, yeah, it's kind of play along, but it's also kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. So like I said, I added a couple, originally did not have the row crop ready from Thunder in here. It is in here now, and FPS is dropping a little bit, and then the truck just got to the sale point. So that's good. Probably hop over and make sure they're selling the bales. See what kind of mess we can make out of this. Definitely know I can get 2 more on the front. So it's been a little top heavy though, I've noticed too. It also doesn't help when I'm driving through the field. Not on more solid contact points. But like I said, we're gonna try this episode with the row crop. Pretty powerful PC, so it should not be a problem. Now see, the catch of this is I don't really have anything to push these around with. Kind of want these where they're going to be strapped on the front. I was hoping I was going to be able to get it all on here, but that is not the case. Go. I need to add the mod, and somebody can comment. There's a mod that allows you to see what degree your forks are at, if they're level or not. I kind of need that on here. I'm trying to think, we might have enough. We got 2 there, 6 there. I mean, we're gonna have to make another run. So I think we're just gonna leave these and kind of stack these in as needed. I was gonna try to fit a couple more on there, but there's no real need. Actually, 4, 8, 11. Well, now we're fine. There's 8, 12 there. So yeah, that actually would be one more full truck, so that's fine. So get these all strapped in. This truck turned around. I imagine with the bales, a lot of the stuff will fight a little bit too, as far as the FPS. Personally, I'm not big on, losing. It should be a smooth 60 FPS, ideally, anything that's kind of in the game, so on and so forth, but it is what it is. Like I said, we'll get back to those. This truck should not be speeding around the corners. We also gotta add a larger sail section. I just gotta run that up through again. I need to run that course through there. I keep forgetting to set that up down there. So this is what happens. He runs around. It's alright, we're gonna jump out though and run into the next field anyway. It's quite a bit of weight for this truck, believe it or not. Oh, should take our like I said, we'll run around the corner, let them go off on their way, sell those bales for us. In the end, we'll see probably about another $8,000, so back up to 208K, roughly. Gotta make sure everything's going all right over here. Does not look that way. I have not got an alert, but something tells me I don't see our equipment, which is concerning. Was skip row too much? Oh, there, he's actually working down here. Interesting, that little turn point down there. All right, so other worker is over here working. So we'll head over, get going on that. Help him out. We'll say one thing, to me, it still looks a little choppy. Which is why I'm kind of like, would love to see, again, that 60 FPS. There is a non-row crop version of this. I think, unfortunately, I'd have to bring everything over. But it could be worth trying, seeing where we're at. Like I said, this episode, we put row crop in. We want it to work. We want it to look more realistic. We want it to feel more realistic. The other thing we need to do still is we need to get some testing done on our land. Probably should have did that before we were in tilling, but it is what it is. I'm sure they're lifting that up, yeah. Then we have this field set to 3 headlands, so it should go pretty well. Now, I'm not too worried about the grass field. I mean, probably, like I said, probably should have thrown lime on top of this first, because I know we're going to need it, but I'm just going to have to roll with it. So actually what I should do right now, with the money we get, is we should actually buy a tester. $17,000. We'll be able to use it multiple times. And I would think the samples are still pretty fair. So I think that's what we'll do is we're gonna head over. Oh, another deer in the field. Yeah, we'll head over and look at that. I think first we'll work the rest of this field, a little bit of a time lapse, and take it from there. Alright, so we got the last truck of bales. It's a little jaggedy. I'm hoping it doesn't result in any issues. But last set of bales on their way to be sold. I did buy cedar. So that truck is going to pick up some seeds and fir for us. And we've got a request in to hopefully, so raise that up a little bit, to hopefully land some kind of precision farming tool. And obviously the scout would be nice, but we said we need something that is very affordable. There goes the truck right there. I always forget he goes around the other way. Like right here is where I'm going to try to place this. Just kinda sure, you know. Guess we got to go down. Top out, kind of see. Yeah, I guess there's a little pitch to it, right? Looks good to me. And piece selected. And I think right now, I don't plan on the trash guys coming anytime soon. Or else, we might have to move some bales. I think right now we can get away with stacking that right there. Like so. Now we will go around and get that cedar. Probably get our should park down here because I think we're just gonna till the chances of us finding what we need for precision farming first and foremost is probably to know. Looks like some cleanup work can be done over here too, so we'll go check on that and be right back. All right, so realized after we had seen the fir right next to where we're picking this up. So that worked out. We're gonna run this with a GPS right now. Hoping all goes well. Telling me it's seeding, so I'll take that as a good sign. Obviously GPS a little staggered. We still don't really know what this soil holds, so we're kind of working through that. I do need to refill this versatile Nemesis It's getting low. I think we got enough to do this field for fertilizer and for seed. Again, not too worried about having the crop information or the soil information on this one for precision farming because it's going to be grass. So we kind of get away with that. Just kind of get it set at 6 miles per hour right now. Take it simple, take it easy. It's being such a short field, a lot of maneuvering going on, especially with a larger tractor and such a smaller seeder. So we continue to do. After buying the seeds and stuff, it brought us back down under 200K, fortunately, with the sales of the other bales. So just got to keep trucking on, and like I said, we got to make it work. But we should have more than enough seed and fertilizer for this field, I would assume and hope. And like I said, I kind of need to look at some stuff and make sure there's nothing wrong I'm doing with row crop to really crash the FPS like this. For the most part, pretty clean mod folder, so I'm thinking it just might not be as smooth as I thought it would be. Which is a bummer, but there's an option for this map that is not row crop ready. And, I didn't really try it out, but maybe I'm going to go test this in another version of the save after as well, but I wasn't really seeing that FPS drop until I added the row crop ready part of it. But then again, it might not let me plant correctly. So that's just something we'll have to see how that goes. But definitely adding that form would drop our level down pretty far for FPS. I'm pretty sure we were running at like 55 to 60, not 60 or higher. We'll turn that up there. And yes, what we can do is we're gonna have to do this little section anyway. As the usual. Kind of wanted to run inside that one, but it's fine because now I'll actually do this one and go back to the inside of the other one. But this should help us having this grass field here, having hay to keep for our beef. Definitely something we need to have. Initially purchased a lot of the hay we have, and not sure why I purchased straw. In my head I was thinking, dairy barn, the usual stuff where they need bedding and stuff, and did not think that one through, so we wasted a little bit of money on that. But it's like went back. We'll just hold on to it. Now this cedar, by the way, only $6,000, so not bad. It has a split row shut off, which will help. We won't burn through as many seeds. We won't be crossing over. Drop it here. I was gonna do that inside, but what I can do is come back up, work that long side on the outside, then come back in the middle. That kind of cleans it up here. So let's get our trucks back. Had it on the wrong point again. I wanted it to be up by the barnyard. Like I said, we elected not to buy any seed on it anyway. Might be able to swing this just as a headland anyway. Yeah. Favorable. Clean up one whole headland essentially, or one half of a headland. So what I'm going to do is just kind of ride this around. Bring up this section over here. Like I said, once we get to that outside column again, we'll just snap it around. Probably should have lifted it up on the turn like that, but it's alright. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is we're getting a different texture here. Which is intriguing. You know why? Because we're not planting anything. Yep. All we're doing right now is we're cultivating, essentially. So I think at some point when I turn back here, I messed that up. Just another form of cultivation. Seeds good. Seed rates on. Sure, nothing is messing with any of that. You know, I don't even see an option. Here's my question. So if I go Alt B. Naturally, this takes off the wrong way again. But I am just wondering. Right there, you hear the little chime. But that should be actively planting. So when we get up to this section up here, shouldn't look like this. It should start to look like the stuff you see next to it. And I was using the joystick to pivot, so I'm wondering if I have a key that was somehow connected to shutting off the seeder. Moment of truth though here. Does it go back? No. Using any seed. So now we are. And now it goes back. So very confusing. Definitely something we're going to have to look at. Come back to you next episode, I think, and kind of see where we're at. Because it looks like it's trying to make me define tram lines as well. We know we're not going to get any information until we test the soil. But it was worth trying that function. So yeah, I think that's how we're going to leave it for today. I got to figure out, I mean, is it really planting? And I'm just being deceived by this weird texture. Grass is growing, so you know, we're fine. We're going to keep on keeping on. So that's all I needed to know. There's no on-off button with that cedar anyway, so we're moving on, and we're going to knock the rest of this out off camera, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for supporting the channel. Until next time, Farmer Taz, out.